welcome. Man, this summer is just going by so fast, and it's hot, and it's uncomfortable, and so I hope a lot of you are getting out to that swimming pool, to get nice and cool. A couple weeks ago, I was working on something, and I was going to work on making a wooden car. Well, as I got to looking at that wood car, it was kind of rough, sharp edges, not sharp enough to cut you, but some sharp edges. And there was even one place that the wood was up just slightly, and I got a splinter in my finger, not a big one, but got it out. And I got to thinking about that. When I came to know Jesus, my life was kind of rough like this block of wood, It was rough. It wasn't smooth at all. And as I began thinking about it, I thought, I want this car to be nice and smooth. So the first thing I thought, okay, if it's not smooth, I need to get something that's rough, possibly, and sand it. So I went and I got a nice brick. And you know what? It didn't help me at all. Matter of fact, it almost made the wood more sharp because it was way too rough. So I thought, okay, the brick's too rough. I know. I'll get me a Kleenex. And I went in, and I started trying to do that. And you know what? This Kleenex was trying to tear, and it came off in the wood, and it's like it started getting some holes in it. And I thought, well, that's not it. So I look around my house, and finally I find a nice, smooth cloth. And I thought, hey, that's it. And I began to do it. Well, it didn't help at all. It was a little bit better than the Kleenex, and it was definitely better than the brick, but it wasn't getting what I needed either. Well, I went and I found a piece of sandpaper. Now, if you ever dealt with sandpaper, it's kind of rough, but it's not a big rough. It's just kind of a small rough. And I thought, well, I have nothing else to lose. So I took that sandpaper and I began to sand it. And you know what began to happen? Whoa! The sharp edges were becoming kind of rounded. And those parts that it was not smooth at all, it began to get a smoothness to it. And it began to see some of the different grains, more of the wood. Oh, I thought, wow, just what I needed was some sandpaper to begin to work on this. Well, as I began looking at that, what I had done, God put a thought in my mind. And the thought was, He has promised us that no matter what, He won't give us more than we can handle. Because He loves us. The song says He's a good, good Father. And He is. He's a very good Father. So He won't give us something like a brick if we can't handle that brick. And anyway, that brick doesn't help in soothing us out. And when I think of that smooth, I think of that, how God begins to form us and work with us and help us become the person that God wants us to be. Now, the thing about God and us, He does let problems and situations and things happen that we have to turn to Him. So we're not going to have a life that's like a Kleenex that does literally nothing. We're not even going to have it all rosy and happy and nice all the time like a nice, smooth cloth. No, we're going to have some problems. There are going to be things that happen in our life. But God applies the sandpaper to our heart, or to our life. Now, I don't mean that literally, exactly, but He does allow us to have problems. And if we turn to Him and trust Him and believe that He is in control, you know what? He begins to take and form us and shape us to the way He wants us to be. And you know, as we look at that, if I continue to work on this car, which I probably will, before long, this car is not going to look like this. God instead is working in our hearts and our lives to make us into the person that God wants us to be. I hope you have a great day. And today, think about how God wants to help you become the person He wants you to be. Thank you.